Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and happy Monday, everybody. Today's project is a really cute little gift bag. It looks like this. That's what I'm gonna make today on my video. So let me just show you. I have all the supplies here, and as I clean off my desk, I'll just tell you what supplies I'm gonna use. Now, you could probably substitute a lot of these supplies for just stuff that you have on hand, and you could make a ton of these gift bags. I think they're really cute. They hold a gift card just right. But let me first, will tell you what I'm going to use. So this is the gold and silver 1/8 inch ribbon. We're going to use 8 inches of that. I have the little red, real red and white baker's twine. We're going to use some of that. I have, this is the Take a Bow 6x6 designer series paper. We're going to use some of that. We're going to use some Stampin' Write markers, and I have real red and granny apple green, and then you just need a black marker too. It doesn't have to be a Stampin' Up marker in this case, but that's what I'm going to use because that's what I have on hand. I'm going to use some black ink. I'm using Memento just because it's what I have on hand. I'm going to use some Garden Green ink, which just coordinates, all those colors just coordinate with my designer series paper. I'm going to use this Humble Home punch just because it has this little hole. Can you see it? Right there. So I'm going to use that hole on that punch, although a handheld punch, a small hole handle punch would work too. I'm going to use liquid glue. I have a scrap of basic white here. I'm going to use tear and tape, and then I'm going to use this little bundle, this Naughty and Nice. No, I shouldn't say bundle, because really the Naughty and Nice is an exclusive, or an online exclusive from Stampin' Up, but it coordinates with the Labeled with Love punch, which coordinates with this stamp. Now, if you don't have this stamp and you have this stamp, I'll show you later how this stamp could be the label on our little bag too. And then the last thing that's not in the camera that we're going to use is a paper trimmer. So again, let me give you a little bit of history behind this bag. So Stampin' Up had a Denver demonstrator achievement kind of celebration thing, and they showed us how to make this cute little bag. Look how cute that is. It's a little gusseted bag. You can just kind of put your hand in here and put your stuff in for your gift that way, or you could slide the ribbon off to put stuff into the bag and then reclose it again. And then my friend, Amy Taylor, and you can find her under Just a Little Ink. If you watch my videos, Amy and I swap. We're kind of like partner demonstrators. We throw stuff back and forth at each other all the time. She came up with a smaller version of this box that looked like this. And then I took and added the handle to it. So if you want to give Amy some love, because the bag is really cute, be sure and go over to Just a Little Ink and watch Amy's video how she did her bag, because I'm going to do it just a little bit different to add these handles on top. Now, like I said, the little bag holds a gift card really nice. We had our Creative Escape Christmas 2024 last Saturday, and so this was just a little gift I made. It's just a little letter opener. I put that, and this is one of the things in their goodie bag. And then of course they take the letter opener out, and they could put just a simple gift card in there, and look how that fits in there just right. And it's cute on the inside, it's nice on the outside. So let me show you how I did my version of Amy's gift card holder. First thing we got to do is we got to pick a piece of designer series paper. So I have a pack that's almost brand new here, but let's see if we can find a pattern out of this pack that's, I think we want this one right here. I'm going to put this as the inside of my card, and this is going to be the outside. I think that'll look cute. Same colors with the little tag. I think that'll work just right. So let's use that. I'm going to cut this down, and since I don't have a top and a bottom pattern, yay, I don't have to worry about it, but I'm going to cut this down to 5.5 by 6. So it's 6 by 6 to start with, so I just need to cut off a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to use my measurements over here, line it up at the 1/2 inch, and then just slice that off. Right? Okay. So then we need, now we still have the 5.5 at the top. We're going to score at both ends at 1/2. So let me get rid of my cutting blade so I don't make any mistakes. And I'm going to set this to the 1/2 inch. And I'm going to score. Now, I'm not going to put a lot of pressure because on designer series paper, you don't want to score through the paper and cut it. So I'm going to just barely push down, and you probably can't see my score line, but I can feel them, and that's what counts. So then let's do the same thing to the other side. Whoop, let me make sure I get it lined up nice and straight here. And we're going to score gently at 1/2 inch. So now I have a score line at both ends. Now we need to get the gusset or the score lines for the sides of the bag, excuse me. So I'm going to score at 1/4 inch increments. So right here at 1/4, and I'm going to lightly score. And then I'm going to move it over to 1/2 and lightly score, just so I don't go through my designer series paper. And then at 3/4 of an inch, that'll be our other score line. So now I have 3 score lines there, like I said, 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4 of an inch. So now we need to score this side. I'm going to start at 3 1/8. So my score lines are over here. The first score lines I did are over here, and now we need score lines at 3 1/8. And then, like I said, we're going to go at 1/4 increments. So then my next one would be at 3 3/8. Phew, I had to think there. And 3/8 is just an eighth before the 1/2 inch, so we're going to score lightly there. And then 5/8, which is 1/8 past the 1/2 inch, and we're going to score there. So now I have all my score lines. Now, if you didn't get those down, and look, I think I scored them on the wrong. I did. I scored my paper wrong. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Let me try again. I messed something up. Maybe I didn't. I should probably fold them and see if that's right. No, it's right. Duh. I don't think it is right. I think I'm going to have to fold them again. Let me fold my score lines and see if I have them right. I think I said the wrong score lines, and I did. Let me try that again. I know I have the measurements right, but I must have done... Oh, I know what I did wrong. Okay, let me try this again. So don't erase that part. Start over. All the measurements, too, you can see on my blog, becreativewithkathy.com. So now I'm cutting that 1/2 inch off again because, well, I guess we all make mistakes. I'm going to fix it this time for you because I know. And then we're going to score at a 1/2 inch on each side. And the 5 1/2 is at the top. So lightly score here. Boy, that was bad, but I can fix it. 1/2 inch here. I can also show you what not to do on my videos, not only what to do. Now we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to score 1/4. I put the wrong end of my paper. 1/2 and 3/4. Now, we need to take our score lines and put them on this side. So we have our score lines here. Now we're going to score at 3 1/8 because we need to continue scoring this way. And then, like I said, 3 3/8 because we're doing in 1/4 increments, and then 3 5/8. And now, yay, my bag is scored right. So on this side, there's the 1/4, the 1/2, 3 1/4, and then we have 3 1/8, 3 3/8, and 3 5/8 going across our paper. Right? So far, so good. All right. Hopefully you didn't start with me. Let's fold on those score lines. So I'm going to gently fold that along, and I'm going to use my bone folder here to make sure they're folded nicely, and then the bottom. And then we're going to score on those little 1/4 inch here at the side. And I'm going to fold these accordion like this and back. And then once I get them all folded, I'll hit them with the bone folder like that. So it looks like that, right? Okay, now we're going to take that 3/8 inch and do the same thing over here, accordion fold over here. See, now my bag is turning, it's doing the right thing. There we go. And now we have our little folds when we fold it up. Now we have our little bag shape. Whew, we did it. Well, I did it. Thank you for being patient with me. Okay, now we need to punch the little holes up here for our bag. So it doesn't matter since my paper's not top and bottom, or it doesn't have a pattern on it that has to have a top and bottom. So I'm going to just pick one side. I'm going to fold it over, fold this side over, and then refold those 1/4 inch lines like this. Get a nice fold there at the top, like that. Okay. then I'm going to use my ruler here because I want to make a mark for the holes for my handle, a 1/2 inch on either side of the bag. So I have the bag all folded with the top down, I guess you would say. So it has a nice smooth edge up here. And with my ruler, I'm going to just take this and hold it here at a 1/2 inch from the side, and with just some kind of dark ink so you can see it. Let me make sure my tops are square and level here. I'm going to just take and put a little mark here at the 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to move my ruler over so it's 2, so that way it's an even marker. I can find my 1/2 inch on this side. And then I have, can you see it? Those 2 little black dots right there. Because now when I bring in my punch here, I can slip my paper into my punch, maybe, find that marking that I made through that little hole here. It's thick, but I think we can get it in there. Maybe we can't. I'm determined that I'm going to get my punch in there. There we go. And find that find that little black mark. Easier said than done. Okay, I'm going to have to use my handheld punch. Hang on just a second. Let me grab. I thought I could use that punch for my hole, but I can't get those many layers, so I'm going to just use a handheld punch instead. I was being lazy instead of getting my punch out. So a 1/2 hole on those little black marks. Then we have one there and one over here. So now more or less I've just punched away that little black mark that I made. And you probably can't see it there, but when you take this and unfold it, now you can see all those little holes right on my score line. Okay, so let's take our ribbon, and I think I'm going to use the silver again. And I'm going to measure 8 inches, and I don't know if you can see, but I'm using my ruler down here at my glass mat. That's just easier for me. And I'm going to snip 8 inches of ribbon. And then I'm going to take that ribbon and I'm going to cut it in half. This way I know that my ribbons are both the same size for my handles. Okay, so then I'm going to thread my ribbon through that hole. Now this is the inside of my bag. If I can get it through that hole there. There we go. This is the inside of my bag, and then I'm going to just loop it over and put it through there again. It looks like that. Now I'm going to pull it through so it doesn't fall out, but we're going to adjust that later. Now do the same thing to this side. Maybe I am, if I can get it through there today. It must be Monday and I am all thumbs today. Nope, my ribbon is like, no can do, ma'am. And I'm determined. I'm like, yes, you will. Okay, there we go. Finally got my ribbon through. So I'm going to pull it through. Hope you can see. So there's just a little bit of my ribbon and that they're even right here. And I'll do the same thing over here, making sure that my handles aren't twisted. And this one, yep, this one's twisted. Which way is it twisted though? I need to twist it this way. And then of course, as I pulled my handle through, I pulled this one out. There we go. Now get it so it's not twisted. And it just a little bit, maybe a little more than that is showing. Like 1/4 of an inch is my guess. But now my handles look about the same size. And now I'm going to take some of that tear and tape and I'm going to just lay it right over my handles here. And I'm going to go all the way across from end to end on my Designer Series paper, right over those handles. And that right there is going to help our handles stay where we want them. Now they're not going to come out when you pull on them. They're stuck under that tape really well. And then at the top here of my designer series paper, this was right under the score line. And then I'm going to put another one up here at the top. And that's going to make it so the inside of our box, when you're taking that gift card or little present in and out, it won't get stuck on the lip of the top of the box. Okay, let's take those release papers off. And now you're just going to fold on that score line right there. And then look how nice the top of our box looks. And those handles won't come out. They're stuck on there good. Okay, let's fold our box again and make sure it still all lines up and it still looks really cute. Nice. So then I'm going to just take down here at the bottom, we need to trim so we can have a base of our box. Bag, I keep calling it a box, but really it's a bag. So down here, at this 1/4 inch, this little tiny thing, we're just going to cut that off. We don't need him at all. So that's going to just be cut off there like that. And then we have the score line that we just cut on, the 2 score lines. So all the way to the right of those 3 score lines, we're going to cut there. And then we're going to just cut on the outside of these score lines. So there's 3 score lines here. And we're going to cut along those back too. So then it looks like this when you fold it up. Does that make it easier to see? So we've cut this one totally off, and then we just have these little tabs here with really the score line going down the center. Okay, now with my liquid glue, although I've put mine in a little precision bottle, I'm going to just put some glue along this edge right here of that designer series paper. But I want to make sure everything folds up nice first. After my scoring event, I want to make sure that I can get it right. Yep, it's going to look good. So I'm going to just put a little bit of liquid glue right here along that edge. And a liquid glue goes a long way. A little bit does the trick. So we'll take it like that. Now we'll fold this over, line up that edge, and then just pinch it closed so it looks like that. And really, there is the basics of your bag. Isn't that not cute? Okay, let's finish the bottom now. So I'm going to just kind of fold this one over. And I guess I should look to see. I want this, I can see the seam here, so I'm going to make this the back of my bag. So this is going to be the front. So I want the back to fold over first. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on these 2 little tabs here. And then fold those over. And then which was the back? This is the back. I want to fold him forward. And then when I do this, I want to make sure that it has a flat bottom. So I'm going to set it here on my table and stick my bone folder in there and stick those down and kind of push out the sides so it has a bottom of the bag and it ends up looking something like that. Then with a little bit of glue on here, I'm going to just close up my little bag. Fold that over. Set it down, make sure it has a bottom. Because now, if I did it right, see, it should even stand up. It's gonna be a cute little bag. And there you go. So there's our little bag. Now we're just gonna add this little tag here. So I'm gonna bring back in that stamp set. My scratch basic white cardstock. I'm gonna put the lid on this so it doesn't dry out. That garden green ink, and I'm going to start with this stamp right here. Ooh, and let me put my stamps all on blocks. So let's see, we want this one. We want the little words that say from the North Pole elves. We need his little shoes, and we need his little hat. There we go. We have all of our stamps. Let's put them onto blocks. And I just realized, oh, I even have it at my desk. I just realized we're going to need real red ink too that I totally didn't have, but it's right here. We're going to start with the garden green though, garden green, and do the outside. Now I'm not going to push too hard because this is such a fine stamp with all those little dots. I'm going to just set it down and let it do its job. Not applying a lot of pressure. And then look how cute those little dots are from that stamp. No, it's not focusing, is it? Ah, trust me, they're there. Okay, no more garden green. Now I'm going to take, and I do it better this way, that black ink. I'm going to stamp a little hat here at the top, a little bit to the right. Kind of get it centered, but making sure that the pom-pom is to the right up at the top here. Set that down. Boom. And then with that real red ink that I forgot all about, I'm going to stamp from the elves, and the pom-pom fits right in between the from, well, I guess it's in between the from and the north, and you can line it up because it's photopolymer and just stamp that down like that. Look how cute that is. And then we're going to just add his shoes and some of that black memento at the bottom. That, and look how cute our little tag is. Let me hold it up so you can see it better. Cute, right? But now we need to add some color. So I'm going to let that dry for just a second before I add my color because my markers might smear that black ink. I'm going to just take that marker again here. I'll show you now how the Humble House works because this is the one. I need to cut this off so I can get my punch in there to punch that hole. Now I can't, here's my humble home, but you can put that in there and line that little hole where I marked up with the little hole here at the top of the punch, and then you have, well, it is not my day because that did not work. There we go. Now I have my hole in there. Perhaps Monday is not the day to do my videos. Yeah, maybe. Okay, and then we're going to take that other punch that I set aside so I could find it again, and now here it is, and we're going to punch out our whole tag. Just like that. Now there's our little tag. Now let's go ahead and take that real red marker, and I'm going to just color, whoop, not that tip, I want the bullet tip here, and I'm going to just color his hat. Now I'm using a Stampin' Write marker because I think the little tiny spots like this are easier to color with the Stampin' Write marker, but if you have Stampin' Blends, that would work too. Sometimes the Stampin' Blends bleed in when you have little areas, and like I said, that's why I like to do the little areas with my Stampin' Write markers instead of the Stampin' Blends. I'm just coloring his socks here, and I'm going to put a little red dot right here on the tip of his shoes. I see a couple places I missed. I'll go back and fix those. And then with some of that Granny Apple green, same color that's in our Designer Series paper, I'm just going to color his shoes. Like that. Okay, then bring in that red and white baker's twine. If I can find the end, there it is. And I'm going to leave it on the spool as I tie it, and that way I have less waste. So then just bring it here, find the front. Hard to find the back, this is the front. I'm going to just loop it around that little handle that we created, and then just tie a cute little bow here at the top. After I get my loops about the size I want them, that's when I'm going to pull it tight, and then that way the loops of my bow don't get curled. Sometimes with the baker's twine they get a little curled, and I found if you take your loops and get them about the size you want them before you pull it tight, then they don't curl. Okay, and there's my little project. So then of course, like I said, I would take my gift card, or even cash. These might be for my nieces and nephews. I like to give them a little bit of cash at Christmas. I might just slip some cash in there. But there you go. So out of a package of Designer Series paper, you could get like 48 of these out of there, and they're not too long to make. In fact, the more you make them, the faster you get. And if you score your paper right, not like I did in the beginning of the video, it makes it even faster. So there's my 2 little bags. If you have any questions, be sure and reach out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you back here next Monday. Hi, Jessica. Have a good day. Bye-bye, everybody.